friends? How are you guys doing today? Thank you so much for stopping in and hanging out with me to talk about some movies. If you watched my last review, you know that today we're going to be talking about 28 Weeks Later. Just came out in the theaters a couple of days ago, or about a week or so ago. And it's directed by Danny Boyle, guy who directed the original, right? The guy who directed Trainspotting and 28 Days Later. I mean, you know, we got Danny Boyle back in the director's chair. That's great. And then we got Alex Garland, Annihilation, Deus Ex. I mean, Civil War. We've got Alex Garland, who did those films, writing this, and it shows because the writing is fantastic. But guys, before we get started, hit that like and subscribe button, and then we will dive right into this. Man, this was fun. Sorry, I had a dog hair on my tongue there. But anyway, guys, this was fun, man. This was a blast. I went and saw it with my son last week. And golly, you know, it's been a while since there has been a 28 zombie movie, right? 28 days, whatever zombie movie. It's been a while. It's been a few years. And this is a pure return to form. It is so much fun. And the thing is, it's a very human story. I had some friends say, I liked it up until the third act, and there's a tone change, there's a, and then the final scene of the movie really kind of throws things on, yada yada. I loved it. I thought everything was perfect. I thought that it was just it was phenomenally made. And I didn't realize this, but the film is shot with iPhones. And Danny Boyle says, well, they shot with iPhones so that we could get closer into the gore and the viscera and stuff up on the zombies. And that's cool. I dig it. But I liked the cinematography of this. It felt very guerrilla at times, like there might just be people with handy cams running around filming things instead of, big production company cameras. So, I mean, I dig it. I liked the cinematography style. The zombies themselves. Now, everybody, guys, I'm just gonna break it down for you now. I'm just gonna tell you about it. There is a zombie played by this gentleman named Chai Lewis Perry, and he's called Samson. And this guy runs around bucky naked with, he's blessed. Put it that way. We'll just say he's blessed. The Lord saw fit to grant him things that most men wished. You know what I mean? So it's he has a member that's about as big as he is, and he's totally nude and he's running around with it, and that's a little off-putting. I ain't gonna lie. But when I first saw it, my son and I died laughing because I was like, how terrifying is it when you got a giant zombie full of anger, completely naked with a huge organ chasing you? Like, I'd be like, oh God, what's he gonna do when he catches me? It was a little preposterous, and all the zombies are naked. All of them are naked. So you're seeing bits and pieces everywhere, you know what I mean? And it's just like, all right, guys, this is, why are they all nude? The first one, they're all wearing clothes, they're angry. And my son explained, he said, well, Dad, it's been 28 years since they turned into zombies. Like, they've been roaming the countryside. Their clothes probably got tore off or disintegrated or something from the elements. That makes sense. Okay, that's what I'm going to say in my headcanon is the reason why all the zombies were naked. Is because their clothes, they've been zombies for 28 years, and their clothes are melting off of them. They've just disintegrated off of them. That's what I'm going with. But the zombies were cool. The viscera and the action was really cool. I liked the way that the action was captured, like when they shoot an arrow at a zombie, like when it hits them, it's like, it sounds like a cantaloupe getting hit with a hammer. It's awesome. There's plenty of blood, plenty of gore, looks great. I don't think there's a lot of CGI in it. I think it's mostly practical effects, or at least I couldn't tell that it was CGI, if you know what I mean. And then we have our characters. We got Aaron Taylor Johnson. We've got Jodie Comer, Alfie Williams, which is our young man, our young child. And we got Ralph Fiennes. Now, Ralph Fiennes, he doesn't have a great, huge role in this, but he is like, in my opinion, he's like the spiritual leader. I say leader. He's not a leader of anyone, but he's our spiritual, our almost religious connection in this film, because we see, you know, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Jodie Comer, and Alfie Williams. They're a family, and they live on this secluded island. You can only get to it at low tide. You know, zombies don't like water, apparently. And so Jodie Comer's sick, right? And, you know, this is kind of I feel like it's a little bit of a cop-out, because how many post-apocalyptic things have we seen where, oh no, someone's sick, we need to go get them a doctor or medicine, and we have to leave the confines of our secure village or whatever to go do it. That's a little cliche. I didn't care for that story beat, but that being said, at the end it was appropriate. So we have Jodie Comer, she's sick, she's not feeling good, and Aaron Taylor Johnson and Alfie Williams, they go out on their, it's kind of like his rite of passage to become a man. Alfie Williams is going out on his first foraging mission. He's going out there and he's going to get his first zombie kill, and they do their whole thing, and they happen upon a fire. Alfie sees a fire out in the distance. His dad says, no, that's a crazy person. Don't worry about that. They get back. Granddad tells Alfie, hey, or Alfie's name is Spike, okay? So he tells Spike, he says, you know, that's a doctor. He goes, a doctor? Well, he can help Mom. And he said, I should speak no more on it, talk to your father. So he talks to his dad. His dad gets all upset. He winds up and he takes his decrepit, ailing mother out into the zombie wilderness to find this doctor. Now, that's all cool. Up until that point, you're like, okay. But I think this is kind of where it takes a tone shift, because at first we're like zombie survival, and now we're somber rescue mission. And that's cool. I can dig it. But at the same time, we've been prepped for this zombie survival, you know, and then we slow it down. I mean, there's still zombies, but we slow it down to get a more human story out of Alfie and his mother. And then we meet Ralph Fiennes' character. And a lot of people say his character was wasted, this and that. But I think his character was fantastic because of the way that the juxtaposition of who they thought he was versus who he is. He's a very kind, caring man. He wants to honor the dead, the zombies that have died and things like that. He wants to honor the people, so he has like this bone temple. All the bones he makes like a forest out of. And I mean, that's creepy, but I can get it. And he's very philosophical, very, I don't want to say religious, theological, you know? Like he's very, like Greek, Latin, stuff like that. For his catchphrase is memento mori, remember death. We all die. And that's another thing that I loved about this film. So Spike's mother is sick. You know, and from the beginning of the film, you know, so she's probably ill, right? And so you take her to Ralph Fiennes. They finally meet up, and you know, we go through all this. But I loved the fact that the horror was a backdrop to the humanity. Because yes, we have zombies. We're expecting zombie kills, zombie violence, zombie massacres, but what we get is a very human story about a boy loving his mother and wanting his mother to survive, and people not being mature enough emotionally, mentally, whatever. Adults, these people in this village, his own father, not being mentally and emotionally strong enough to tell him, hey, your mother is terminally ill. She's probably not going to make it. She's probably not going to be alive much longer, buddy. So, you know, there was no one to tell him that. Everyone kept leading him on with hope and all this kind of stuff until finally he took matters into his own hands to take his mother out to find this doctor. And that's just so powerful to me, because it's like all of you could have saved all this strife and heartache if you would have just been adults and had a real conversation with this kid about things. Now, given that wouldn't have made it, that, you know, the movie wouldn't have happened if that would have been the case, but I'm just saying that is one of the things that I noticed in the film. It's like, you know, because you always notice the things that could have been in a film. If they would have done this, things would have done this way. But I loved that 28 weeks later was a human story covered in zombies, right? The zombies and all that, like I said, was a backdrop to the human, deeply compelling, heart-wrenching story of a boy's love for his mother. And now the final scene, I loved it. I mean, y'all can hate it, but I loved it. I thought that that was so apropos because we're sitting here and we've had all this, like, you know, tear-jerking, heartbreaking stuff, and then we get that final scene and it's like, all right, you redeemed yourself. I love it because it was absolute nonsense. So that is 28 weeks later, guys. Thanks for hanging out and talking with me a little bit about it. I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys get a chance to check it out. And if you've seen it, let me know what you think in the comments section, guys. But that's it. Thank you so much for hanging out and talking with me about it for a little while. And hit that like and subscribe button on the way out, guys. I love you. I'm going to keep making them as long as you keep watching them. Peace out. God bless you. And I will see you soon.